Donatelli. Welcome to Reader Seeks Romance, the #1 romance novel talk show on YouTube. In today's pajama party themed episode, I chatted with author Roan Parrish about her cozy romance, Best Laid Plans. Roan also chatted about her somewhat morbid romance reading habit as a young adult. And she played 2 truths and 1 lie. And one of the truths is pretty shocking. And no pajama party is complete without a scary story or 2. So Roan also played This or That Horror Edition. Enjoy, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hi, Roan. Welcome to Reader Seeks Romance.
Thank you so much for having me.
It is a pleasure. Congratulations on Best Laid Plans, which is book 2 in your Garnet Run series.
Thank you.
So Best Laid Plans is an opposites attract cozy romance that, in my opinion, sets the standard very high. There's so much pure love, and there's a close-knit, inclusive community, and there is a scene with, I think, a lathe that is reminiscent of the pottery scene in Ghost. At least to me it was.
I'm so delighted that you said that, because that was exactly what I was thinking of as a little bit of like a joke, romance joke, and no one else has mentioned it ever. Best Laid Plans is definitely an opposites attract romance. It's about Rye, who is from Seattle and has lived very much a big city life and has ended up in a place where he doesn't really have a place to live. He's gotten evicted or kicked out as real estate prices have skyrocketed in Seattle. And he gets this phone call one day from the real estate or representative of this grandfather that he didn't even know he had, telling him that he has been left a house in this little town of Garnet Run, Wyoming. And Rye is like, didn't know I had the grandfather, didn't know he was from Wyoming. Frankly, don't exactly know Wyoming from like Montana, but I'm totally screwed right now. So if I have a house, I'm gonna go live in it. And he takes his cat and drives to Wyoming and finds not a home, but a falling to pieces, in shambles wreck of a house. He sits in the corner and pets his cat and is like, well, I guess I'm going to have to watch a bunch of YouTube videos and figure out how to build a house because I have no other options. And he starts going into the hardware store owned by Charlie, our other protagonist, and buying like this truly wackadoo combination of things in a desperate attempt to cobble together a house. And Charlie, who is very responsible, extremely adult, and cannot stand to watch people do things badly, just can't help but get involved. Mm-hmm. And his involvement turns into their getting to know each other, which turns into their romance. And before you know it, the house is really a project that they're collaborating on. And it doesn't end how you might think it would end with them living in that house happily ever after. I mean, it does end happily ever after, but they have other plans for the house, which I will not give away.
The level of love and loving expression between Charlie and Rye has to be some of the most profound that I've read in a long time. Were you in a certain headspace? Were you able to go very deep as far as the love?
I mean, I think that is what I try to bring to every book, above all other things, that kind of like, not romance really, but like showing love between the characters. I think that what I really wanted to show in the kind of lovingness between Rye and Charlie was that Charlie could provide this stable home for Rye, who hasn't had one. And Rye, even though he seems a little like snarky or less settled, he still has something really, really important that he can provide to Charlie, and that is the freedom for Charlie to finally explore who he is. And that means sexually, and that means in terms of what kind of music he might like or food he might like. And I think that for me, the love between them in this book was much less about like romantic gestures or grand statements of feeling. And it was much more about both of them looking at each other and saying, like, what do I have that is my very essence that I can offer to you to make your life better? Which to me is like, that's the height of romance. Like, I think that maybe coziness is my version of fun for other people, where it's like my highest order of satisfaction is feeling cozy, which is like, I like lots of things that are not cozy too. Like I love horror movies and loud music and exploring urban decay. And like, it's not like everything that I want everything to be pillows all the time. But in terms of like my internal mental and emotional state, I feel like I seek coziness above all other feelings. And it wasn't really intentional that it was during a pandemic that I was turning to this. Like I had already sold this series before that happened, right? So I knew it was what I was writing next. But I do think that it helped a little bit to every day, like the world that I was inhabiting, be this cozy town and like low drama, low angst kind of romance. Like I've written some books that are very angsty and pretty gritty, and that's like not the world that I would have wanted to be living in over the last year. So I think it was conducive, and also like it was what I was cultivating in my own space, was that coziness. And so it felt kind of parallel. Definitely the first romance I read I was as a child obsessed with Lurlee McDaniel. Did you ever read her?
No.
Okay, she writes these basically like teen romantic melodramas about dying teenagers. So it's like one of the characters is dying and the other character is not dying, and they fall in love, and you wouldn't probably call it a romance by our RWA standard of a happily ever after or happily for now, because the person does die, but it's not, I mean, it is sad, but it's like the one who's left, then like their memory lives forever. And there's a like series of them called the One Last Wish romances. I was obsessed with them, and my dad saw these books and was like, what are these? Because he was always curious what I was reading, and he picked one up and read the back, and then like saw that I had gotten this whole series of them from the library and was reading the backs of them all, and was just like, why do you want to read books about teenagers dying of horrible diseases? And I was like, but I love it. He thought I was a super morbid kid, is the point of that. But those were my first kind of like tiptoe into romance, which I didn't really like go back to it until grad school. Number 1, I don't like chocolate. Number 2, my favorite animal is the hedgehog. Number 3, I once saw a dead body.
You might be allergic to chocolate, and because of that, you don't like it. The hedgehog sounds right. And the dead body thing, I mean, based on your pre-interview answers, I'm going to say you probably saw a dead body. I'm going to say that the lie is you don't like chocolate.
My favorite animal is not a hedgehog.
What is your favorite animal?
I don't even know if I really have one, but I do love a cat.
But you like what?
A cat.
You like, oh my God, and the cats are right on your pajamas. Why would I pick a hedgehog?
I do love hedgehogs, though. They're extremely adorable.
Don't try to make me feel better. Okay, now, given that you like...
Wait, I'm sorry. You don't even want to hear the story about the time I found a dead body?
Oh!
I'm just surprised.
You're right. I know, I do want to know it. I do.
I'm just messing with you.
No. Is it something you can share?
When I was in grad school one summer, a friend and I decided that we were going to swim over the summer because we had access to the campus swimming pool at the gym. And no one ever went there in the summer because the undergrads were gone, and we would go pretty early in the morning, and there was no lifeguard. It was just like an empty pool. And one morning we went and we got in the water, and my friend was like, there's someone in there. And this man had some kind of episode, like heart attack or an aneurysm or something, while swimming, and had died in the pool. And we just like, he was just in the pool.
Was the first thing you did to jump out? Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I mean, it was very clear that he was dead. I like to think that we would have tried to do CPR or something if it seemed like he could be saved, but he was like very dead, clearly, visibly dead. So yeah, we went and got the like poor undergraduate person who was staffing the like entrance to the gym. And I was like, I think a gentleman has had a medical episode in the pool,
that's a good way to say it, because I am pretty confident that I would have been probably crying. I would have been like kind of giggling and kind of crying and being like, there's a dead body back there. Someone needs to go get it, you know? Stephen King or Joe Hill?
Ooh, I gotta go Stephen King on this one, just because his body of work is so vast that I feel like his range is unbeatable. And I like Joe Hill, but we'll just give him another 40 years and see what he produces.
Okay. The Exorcist by William Peter Blatty or Rosemary's Baby by Ira Levin?
Rosemary's Baby, 100%. That, I think, is one of the best horror books and movie adaptations. I think the movie is amazing. It's so well done and just atmospheric. Gotta go Rosemary's Baby.
Shirley Jackson or Mary Shelley?
Okay, that is a really hard one. I love Shirley Jackson. I think she's like maybe one of my top horror authors. But Frankenstein's influence on culture, the Gothic, science fiction is unparalleled. I guess I have to go with Frankenstein.
Mary Shelley. R.L. Stein or Neil Gaiman?
Interesting. Well, I have actually, I don't know if you can see at the bottom of this pink shelf, I've just started recollecting a bunch of Christopher Pike books. I have a couple R.L. Steins on the shelf.
Nice.
Because I love the covers, both the Christopher Pike and the R.L. Steins. I was obsessed with those covers, and I've always really liked them. They're schlocky delightful, but Neil Gaiman, I think, has like real gravitas to some of his stuff, even the funny stuff. Like, I think he's just a more meaty writer.
Faye Dunaway in Mommy Dearest or Betty Davis in Whatever Happened to Baby Jane?
Oh God, that's a great question. Oh, they're both so good. I think Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, just because the drama, like the bombastic, over the top, almost caricature. I mean, I guess they both have that in common, but that one just like it stays with you. And that's the one where there's like, you take the thing off the plate and it's the rat. Yeah, that every time I like see her face, that's what I picture, is this like reveal of the rat.
Well, this has been a lot of fun, Roan. Thank you so much for joining me on Reader Seeks Romance.
It's been so much fun. Thank you so much for this lovely pajama party and for your amazing questions. And I loved it.